Music appreciation. I guess jumping off of that, I want to talk about articulation. I think that's one of those things that, because this pod is kind of trying to be there for, you know, players that have been doing this and do this professionally, but also people that are just music fans. I think articulation is one of those things that's easy to kind of miss when you're listening, but you still feel it. And I like horn articulation, all this kind of stuff. Bass is one of my favorite articulation instruments just because you have all these options with your hands and muting and fingers and muted notes and stuff like that. Can you talk about maybe some of your musical heroes or some of the people that you draw from, or like just on that kind of broad subject of right hand playing, making the bass sing and making it, you know, sit in?
Yeah, I like some of my influences they're basically all the people that you would expect, all the jazz guys on upright, Paul Chambers, Ron Carter, Ray Brown, electric, like Marcus Miller, like for slapping, he was like, him and Victor Wooten were like,
for sure.
They're very different.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of took some from both of them.
Yeah.
And then and on upright, I would say like in terms of like more harmonically, I probably studied Ron Carter a little more, but like the feel and the attack, like you were saying, probably more like Ray Brown style.
Okay.
Which also transfers to like Christian McBride.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They have a similar, but to expand on the idea, it's an extremely important to be very clear and articulate on bass, which a lot of people I hear express that aren't bass players are like, well, some people just aren't very clear. You always want to know. You're kind of like, as you know, like between the time and the harmony.
Right, for sure.
Everyone's kind of looking to you as like literally the bass or the anchor.
Yeah.
And the direction sort of. So like, you have to be, everyone should always know where you're at all the time,
Cool.
It shouldn't be like guessing. It shouldn't be like muddy. And muddy, like, you can be playing like sub bass, like on the neck.
Uh-huh.
But that doesn't mean muddy, right? You're still,
I like that. That intention. I think that's huge.
That's right. Every note is with intention. Whether if you want it to be muddy, then it should be muddy. But
cool. Yeah.
But like,
there's no rules in this. But
every note, especially for bass, since most of the time you're playing single notes, it should have a meaning behind it. I feel like.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. When you were coming up and you were trying to like improve your feel and improve like your ability to like lock and create pocket, what kind of techniques did you turn to? What were things that were instrumental in growing that intentionality, that sense of feel?
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. And actually that was probably one of the most important things that I did. And honestly, the way that I pursued that was I played with records.
Cool.
Along with records. Played along with records, every style. And that's it. Like, it was just like, if I want to play salsa one day, I'm going to turn on some old Fania Records stuff, like Hector Lavoe, whatever, whatever the thing is, just kind of match it. And that was always my thing. I always basically learned from playing with records. That was really how it started.
I like it.
Even before I could read or anything.
Yeah. I mean, I feel that, that's the best skill that you can have, right? Is like being able to play in context. If like, I understand like the metronome has got plenty of value, but rooting most of your practice in actual like genre and in conversation. Yeah.
I would say like, that was a good point. Like I don't know, maybe I missed out on something, but I never really like sat there with just like a metronome, like real military style, like, that's cool for dexterity and stuff. But I was always like playing songs and like make the practice sort of fun, but make sense towards something.
Totally.
Not to say that sort of practice, the other sort of practice is not useful. It absolutely is. But in my experience, I didn't do as much of that. Maybe I should have. But.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like I can say that coming from like the guitar perspective, I spent so much time just shedding scales and like hybrid picking and all this stuff. I don't play like that. I'm not trying to be Yngwie Malmsteen, like flying up and being like, look how fast I can play the scale. Not like there's anything wrong with that. That's dope too, but that's not how I play. So it kind of feels a little bit like not wasted, but inefficient.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has a place if you're you know,
Of course.
obviously for technique and pedagogy.
Yeah.
You know, there's always room. It is very important for that. You know, like kind of, well, you know, on upright, because I play upright and electric.
Yes.
I did study a little bit more classical with the bow, and that was a little more like technique.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, other than that, it was always like. But then I would go and put on the jazz record and play along.
Yeah.
You know, with it.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, different types of styles too within that, like, you know, playing with not just like, you know, like Oscar Peterson trio is way different than like Bill Evans or something. So
Yes.
I took all that stuff and like the different approaches, and then eventually when real life comes back around, you start playing with people who sort of lean towards these sort of greats in certain ways, whether they mean to or not.
Yeah.
And for me, between that and, you know, usually in like a trio setting, it's more intimate. So like if it's piano trio,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, what am I kind of turning on today? Which sort of like in my arsenal, which approach are we taking today? So it's important to have all those options available and approaches, I think, you know.
That's cool.